Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. This is going to be our last episode with James Baek's team. Of course, this team was able to get number 1 on the ladder, and once again you can check out James, linked in the description below. Also a rental team, so feel free to try out the team yourselves. But I'm going to get into the first game of today's episode, and we're actually going up against one of my all-time favorite Pokemon in this format, Cobalion, which I think is really underplayed. So I'm actually pretty excited to go up against it. However, I'm also pretty scared because I think that Pokemon is very, very tough to go up against. So, how do we approach this? Because Charizard gets dunked on by Tailwind Max Rockfall turn 1. Trick Room could be valuable. I'm honestly thinking of just leading Torkoal Venusaur. What's the idea behind this? By going Torkoal Venusaur... I don't know about that. Dusclops plus... How do I beat Cobalion? That's the question. That thing looks really scary against us, honestly, because it's going to have Max Rockfall as well, which is part of the problem, right? Torkoal, Venusaur, Tyranitar, Dusclops is what I'm thinking right now. But honestly, Cobalion looks really solid against what we have, so let's see. I'm really scared about playing against it, but that's why I think it's an underrated Pokemon. Anyway, let's jump into the first game of today's episode. As always, if you guys enjoy, please share support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, as always, to everyone for tuning into the videos recently. I know Series 5 hype has died down a little bit since we've already been playing it for over a month, but appreciate everyone that continues to come out and tune into the videos. And question of the day, I'm curious and want to know, what team are you most proud of, whether it be in VGC 20, a previous VGC format, or even a non-VGC format? Let me know in the comments below. For me, it'd definitely have to be my post-Worlds 2014 team with Gothitelle and Mawile. Okay. The question is my opponent just beat up immediately? If I'm my opponent, what do I do? Beat up Rockfall into Torkoal? Probably. Part of me is considering maxing this and flaring into Cobalion. You know, that seems crazy, but I think considering my opponent wants to beat up Rockfall into Torkoal, I think it actually might make some sense. And we have Weather Ball too. But we could get a Spadef drop with Air Power. Yeah, this is crazy, but I'm gonna max the Torkoal because I like, by maxing Venusaur, what do we really get? At one max Ooze onto Whimsicott, which is gonna have the Sash anyway, or a max Quake. Oh, I guess we could have actually max flared into Cobalion with it. But the thing is, I'm hoping to survive here. Like, the idea behind this play is to basically... it changes the weather back into Sun too for us, right? And I'm assuming I guess they could just Tailwind next turn. They might just Tailwind this turn as well, I guess. You could just Tailwind Rockfall this turn. Which is why going for Weather Ball, even if we max Venusaur, is kind of risky. So as crazy as this seems, I actually think maxing Torkoal is our best solution against Cobalion, given what my opponent brought. I think Cobalion has a very favorable matchup against most of this team, honestly. Okay, looks like they're offing for beat up then. That's a lot of damage from Earth Power. Is Max Quake better? I don't think so. Also, that took so much damage from Earth Power, I don't think it's Assault Vest. So if Max Flare just one-shots here, that would be amazing. It should be Max Rockfall, though, so obviously we won't have the weather up this turn. And now what Whimsicott can do is just Tailwind the subsequent turn, so this is still tricky. But I'm expecting this to go into Torkoal, and we hopefully survive, reset the weather, and get a Max Flare into Cobalion. Okay, so there's Max Rockfall. Yep. Alright, nice job, Torkoal. Tanks that. Survive. Yeah, the problem is if I max the Venusaur there, what do I get? One strong attack, but then you just outspeed, and then you can just Tailwind the next turn. Or just even beat up again and get the Cobalion to +6. It's Aqua Berry! Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, unfortunately, we won't be knocking it out now, for sure. Okay. So I think here the Whimsicott just Tailwinds and then you Rockfall again. That being said, either attack should knock out the Cobalion. You have to Tailwind, and I would think you would knock out the Venusaur. So if I want to go for an advanced prediction, I could switch out Venusaur right now. But I think it's fine to just trade here. Actually, Venusaur is really good against my opponent's team. If I call this turn correctly, I think we're just in such a good spot. But yeah, I think if we call it incorrectly, we lose. So I don't want to take that risk. I'm fine just trading this turn. So I'm just going to Earth Power, Max Flare again. Yep, there's Tailwind. I was expecting Rockfall to go into Venusaur, so I really wanted to switch that out. Okay, but they target Torkoal. Yeah, so if we switched out there, that would have been very bad for us. I don't know. So the thing here is, like, if I predict the Cobalion slot correctly, then we just knock it out while not taking damage on the other Pokemon, right? Which just puts us in such a big advantage. But it's not a risk I think I can really afford to take right now. Because otherwise Cobalion will just sweep me. I need a guarantee to knock out this thing. So I'll take that trade-off, honestly. Because, you know, my opponent has Tailwind, they have Whimsicott out, but that doesn't do that much damage. We got rid of the main sweeper. So this is a very unique scenario in which, like, you don't often Dynamax Torkoal, but it made perfect sense to do so in this game specifically. Okay. Whimsicott's presume Sash is broken. I still have Assault Vest. There's threat of Rillaboom. I want to bring out Dusclops, I think. Even though there's Whimsicott. Is that Tyranitar coming out? That's not great. Sash. Policy. I mean, I can Helping Hand and Leaf Storm into Tyranitar. I just don't know if that's a one-hit KO. Here you have to deny the Trick Room, I think, so you taunt, or maybe just Moonblast Crunch into Dusclops. I think I'm going to go Helping Hand Leaf Storm, because if it KOs, we just win. And I don't think Venusaur is ever fainting here this turn. And this is, you know, Helping Hand is an unexpected attack to see right now. Oh, that was so smart. If they targeted Dusclops, though, that's actually totally fine. Lash out. Okay. That was really smart, though. Moonblast to activate the policy to guarantee Trick Room, or deny Trick Room. Okay. Yeah, I think if it went into Venusaur there, the game was just instantly over, but very cool. We see Moonblast Tailwind beat up from Whimsicott. Protect is presumably the last one, which is why they didn't go for Taunt, otherwise I would think Taunt's safer there. Okay, so I have Focus Sash on my Tyranitar. They don't know that, though. They have to respect a potential weakness policy. They still have Tailwind up, and we're at -2 special attack, so this has been a fast-paced offensive game, but I don't know if I actually feel like I'm in a great spot. It is going to be Rillaboom in the back for my opponent, though, which I don't mind seeing. I don't mind seeing that, because Venusaur's pretty good against that. Okay, how many turns of Tailwind are left? It's 2. I went for Helping Hand, like... I mean, I don't think I'd ever Earth Power in that situation, to be honest. The thing is, my Tyranitar is kind of pinned right now. I can't really do anything with this. I could protect this turn, but they might just fake out into the Venusaur. So if I want to predict that, I could just go for damage with Rock Slide. And the Sludge Bomb. Oh, they're going for Helping Hand. Either way, that's good, because Tyranitar will survive any attack. Yeah, it's Helping Hand, Grassy Glide. Okay, nice. So Tyranitar survives that. We KO the Whimsicott. So Helping Hand is... Helping Hand, Moonblast, beat up, Tailwind. It's Life Orb, too. Okay. Yeah, so the Focus Sash comes up huge for us here. Nice. Sludge Bomb gets the one-hit KO. I think that should be the game, then. Because either Lash Out or Sludge Bomb should KO the Rillaboom now, I would think. Or maybe not, actually. But I don't think Rillaboom can knock out the Venusaur. Okay, nice. Yeah, if my opponent actually just Grassy Glide Moonblast into Tyranitar, we lose there. But, you know, they're probably expecting bulky Tyranitar. I do think the double up with Moonblast and Glide is typically better, though, because even if I'm, like, max HP, I think you still KO with Life Orb on the Rillaboom. So I think they misplayed, and that allows us to be in a better spot. The question is whether there's value in protecting here, but I don't think so. I think we're fine to just go Lash Out and Sludge Bomb here. Because if I protect and you call the Venusaur, and you call it correctly, that's bad, right? Oh, but they have EQ. Okay, so let's see if Sludge Bomb knocks out at -2 after Life Orb and Sand Ship. I think it does. I think it does. Wow, what a game. That was actually crazy. I didn't think we had very much for Cobalion, so we had to come up with a clever solution, and that was it. Dynamax Torkoal, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was really intense. I think like we weren't in a really favorable spot. The Self Moonblast was so scary because I thought they were just going to target the Venusaur, but yeah, you have to really respect the Trick Room there, so I thought we'd probably get the Leaf Storm off. But, oh my goodness. That was so scary. What a match. Aqua Berry is really interesting on Cobalion. I personally love Assault Vest onto it just because like it's already got great defensive stats, and you know, being just taking less damage from like ground super effective attacks, especially because Earth Power is getting kind of common now, is valuable as well. But I mean, that last match was just nuts. Yeah, I don't think there's really much of a reason to ever go for Helping Hand Grassy Glide because your Life Orb and Terrain is up. I'm almost confident like Moonblast and Grassy Glide would KO the Tyranitar anyway, so yeah, if your goal is to knock out Tyranitar there, then you double up onto it. So the Helping Hand really saved us there. Wow, okay, high-rated opponent, a really cool team. Indeedee, Hatterene, Tyranitar, Oranguru, Volcarona, which is really cool, and Urshifu. So they have weather control, so I can't, you know, just spam my Sun stuff here. Huh. I think the Focus Sash on Tyranitar here actually has a lot of value because it allows us to superpower or Rock Slide the Volcarona Tyranitar, which I think are two of the biggest offensive threats on the opposing side. Part of me wants to just go like Charizard Tyranitar. Torkoal. I don't think Gyarados is that good. Dusclops is interesting, but with Indeedee being on the team and Oranguru, like I can't Nightshade either of those, so I might just go Venusaur as the last one. That's a really cool team for my opponent's end, though. This is one of those games where it's like, if I lose, at least I get to learn some things, because that is definitely not your run-of-the-mill standard team. So like Hatterene Indeedee is obviously pretty standard there. Oranguru is interesting because, you know, it's also Psychic. I bet it gets access to Expanding Force. I haven't seen its updated moveset. Because quite frankly, I don't remember the last time we ran into an Oranguru, but yeah. Oh my goodness, that last match though. I need to like get like a heart monitor to track my heart rate during some of those because that one was just great. Every turn I was like, we could just lose right now. It's gonna be okay, Indeedee and Oranguru. Huh. What do I want to do here? Because I think if you're my opponent, you just follow me Trick Room, right? You have to, really. So I have two options. I can Rock Slide. The other play I'm actually thinking is just going to Torkoal Heat Wave, because then my Torkoal outspeeds what my opponent brought out. And Heat Wave just does a ton of damage here outright, too. Of course, I could go for Rock Slide, but, you know, if Oranguru is inner focus, can't even get the flinch there. And if Trick Room goes up the subsequent turn, I guess Tyranitar was actually always in a pretty good position there, so maybe I didn't need to switch out. But I think switching out is also fine. They might not even go. They could just go for Expanding Force. No follow me. Ah, but we miss. That's a really bad miss. Okay, we crit the Oranguru in return. That might have just been a double knockout if that Heat Wave connected. So no follow me. It's going to be Expanding Force, isn't it? Oh, dear. It's going to hurt. Okay, we survived, though. Yeah, I mean, that's the downside of using Heat Wave. You only connect on both Pokemon 81% of the time, right? Which isn't amazing. Okay, we survived, though, which is nice. But, like, you know, obviously Torkoal took a lot of damage there. And curious if the Indeedee is sashed. Willing to bet that. Tyranitar comes out from my opponent. Okay. But I've got Body Press, which could be really big for us. I also have Venusaur, so I want to consider that. I mean, you can double Protect here if you're my opponent, right? The safest play. Leaning towards Heat Wave Protect here. Because I don't want to break the Sash on my Tyranitar, nor do I want to switch in Venusaur. Okay, they switch out the NDD, actually. That's not bad. Tatterine, actually, is the last one. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I think we Dynamax Tyranitar most likely in this game. Or, sorry, Venusaur. We could Dynamax Tyranitar, too. That's a nice Heat Wave we get off before we leave, though. Like, yeah, my opponent ends up taking damage, and I was expecting them to not even get any damage off, and it's just Rock Slide coming out, so that's fine by me. Because now I get Tyranitar in for free. Actually, do I want Tyranitar or Venusaur? I think Venusaur, right? Because with Venusaur, I can just Ooze into Hat and Body Press. Because I don't think my opponent expects a Body Press here. Body Press just KOs Tyranitar. So let's go for that. Because we should be faster than the opposing Tyranitar. We should survive a Rock Slide as well. Actually, it might be better to just Sludge Bomb here. Ooze this... Oh, it's the same amount. Never mind. Then we just Ooze and Body Press. This is why Body Press Torkoal is just so good, right? Like, the best way to counter weather is typically with your own weather, and one of the best ways to do that is through Tyranitar. Tyranitar against normal Torkoal sets does really well, but Body Press just destroys it. So, I like our position right now for sure. What my opponent could do is max Tyranitar here and Rockfall into Torkoal, but if I get the Ooze off, that's still really good, right? Because then I can just G-Max Vine Lash, knock out the opposing NDD once the NDD's down. Like, Venusaur's just... I mean, it's not the bulkiest Pokemon, but... And this actually doesn't have that much HP or defense investment either, but just in Dynamax form, it still fares pretty well. Okay, yep, Tyranitar maxes. But if you don't respect the Torkoal here, Body Press will just destroy that. So it's like you either knock out Torkoal, fine, in which you maybe still have a chance of winning, but if you target the Venusaur, Body Press just knocks out Tyranitar, and that's just game. Even if it doesn't knock out, we can G-Max Vine Lash the subsequent turn, and then get the residual effect should close it out for us. Plus we still have Slash Tar in the back. Okay, so no Protect from Hat, so Max Ooze here shouldn't be a knockout, I think. Perfect. I don't know, I just like... How many people respect Body Press Torkoal, I guess, is the question. To be honest, if you go up against Torkoal nowadays, you really should respect it. But let's see if my opponent does. Rockfall onto... Moment of Truth? Venusaur. Very nice. Let's go, Torkoal. That actually did a lot less than I expected, though. Maybe I hyped it up a little too much. Yon would have won us the game there, actually, I think. Yeah, that was... bulkier than I gave it credit for, to be honest. Still fine, though, I think. Because I get a guaranteed G-Max Vine Lash off here. And our Tyranitar's max speed, too. I'm going to go for the Vine Lash onto the NDD slot, because I could see my opponent protecting. And let's just Body Press into Tyranitar again. Yeah, this is pretty safe, right? Because... Okay, yeah, nice. Oh, maybe I should have protected Torkoal, actually. How much does Vine Lash do? Oh, that's enough for a KO. Okay, nice. So now our Tyranitar just wins because we have the Focus Sash. So, yeah, that's why they didn't... You know, they were willing to just like, attack so aggressively on turn 1. Expanding Force comes out. Okay, Venusaur even survives that impressively. So, Assault-Vest Venusaur is just so good. Nice. Okay... NDD feints, we have Vine Lash now, we just bring out Tyranitar. So, yeah, my opponent just had really slow Pokemon, ultimately, right? Like, we were just faster with everything, but the awkward, you know, component is that if they want to set up Trick Room, it's not that easy either, because then my Torkoal can just come out. My Torkoal just outspeeds all of their team under Trick Room. So, nice. Yeah, we can just Vine Lash Superpower now. I did think Body Press would do more, though, into the Tyranitar. Like, I thought it would be a near KO, enough where, like, 2 or 3 ticks of Vine Lash would pick up the knockout, so got a little too excited there. But in retrospect, it didn't even really end up making too much of a difference. I think like Vine Lashing the NDD ends up working out most of the time there because I know I have the Focus Sash on Tyranitar, I know I'm max speed. As long as I chip away at it and I get the residual effect, like if NDD protects there, I guess if my opponent attacked with both Pokemon, no, they still lose, right? Because then Tyranitar just comes in Superpower. So that's exactly why I want a Tyranitar in the back as late game insurance against pretty much anything that we could have gone up against. So I think Urshifu was probably the Pokemon I was most afraid to go up against, but it didn't end up coming out, so that was very good for us. Otherwise, thinking about that matchup, trying to see what else we could have done. Yeah, I mean, Yawn, I don't really like yawning there. Because I'm already taking so much damage anyway at that point from like a max Rockfall, so Body Press just means that it's like a 2-hit KO, right? Oh boy, it's Bouffalant. Okay, I know Bouffalant also has Sap Sipper, so you see the Comfey pairing with Bouffalant and Lapras. Now, they don't have Weather, which is at least one advantage, right? What do I want to do here? I actually don't remember how fast Bouffalant is. That is another question that I have. I don't remember off the top of my head. I mean, what's the sun counter here? Because I kind of want to just go, like, Venusaur Torkoal or Charizard Torkoal. Torkoal is a lead I definitely want. I think I go Charizard out of respect for the Cinderace, Venusaur in the back. And then Sash Tar is always pretty good. Alright. I'm excited to go up against Bouffalant because I know Eduardo Cunha was actually playing on stream with one of these teams like a few days ago or maybe yesterday. I didn't watch the stream. So, and Bouffalant's a Pokemon that pretty much like has never really seen usage in VGC, even though it's been around for what, like almost a decade. So, if anything, even if we lose this, it'll be a cool, learning experience. Plus, I can, you guys get to watch me get wrecked by Bouffalant. So let's see. Either way, though, I'm eager to see. Like, with Comfey, you can obviously expect, like, the weakness policy strats coming out. It is Bouffalant and Comfey immediately. Okay. So, how fast is this thing, is my question. Just double-checking that real quick, because I honestly do not remember at all. I don't think... It's, like, never a base speed that I've had to memorize. It's only 55. That's so slow. It's so slow. I mean, with it being that slow, like... I do have to respect the Sap Sipper. There's the potential of Bouffalant Max and then Trick Room. I mean, part of me just wants the double Heat Wave turn 1, to be honest. Because I could see Bouffalant Max in Comfey tries to Trick Room. So, like, you would G-Max Bouffalant so that you don't take any damage. Or, sorry, you max the Bouffalant so that you don't take any damage from less. I mean... I guess the problem is... Oh, this is very scary. The problem is if... I also just maybe am missing something that's key to the strategy. Okay, so there's the Giga Drain for Sap Sipper. Yep. If I just max Charizard, wouldn't I have just wrecked it there? Okay, is it a Assault Vest? That's what it looks like, based off that damage output. That would make sense. Max Strike, I'm sure. Oh, Rockfall. That's even better for them. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. If I had Max Charizard there, that actually would have been pretty bad for us. So Assault Vest is the item, I'm guessing, right? That's the only thing that really makes sense based off that damage output. But I think that's fine. We did get a crit onto the Comfey, which is a little fortunate. Yeah, that's gotta be Assault Vest. I took that so well. Okay. But I can bring out Tyranitar now, right? I've got Body Press on the Torkoal. Torkoal's pretty good defensively as well. Might want to max Venusaur in the late game, but I don't want to necessarily switch it out right now and just have it faint, because it's very important to conserve that. Lapras is in the back here for my opponent. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Protect Torkoal here, Superpower into Bouffalant. Because then we bring in Venusaur and Assault Vest. Venusaur should just clean up this game. They could have Cinderace as their last one, actually, which would be pretty scary. The alternative is to actually just yawn Lapras immediately here. Bouffalant's also pretty bulky. Like, it maybe survives the Superpower here. Yeah, it does. Okay. I think this is alright, though. Nice Freeze Dry into Torkoal. Okay, expecting the Venusaur switch out, so that's very good for us. We don't get frozen. Max Malco, perfect. Okay, that's great. Because now what happens is you bring us down to our Sash, but I get the yawn off against Lapras, so you fall asleep the subsequent turn. I can just Superpower now once again to KO the Bouffalant. And then Venusaur should close out this game for us. And I can just yawn the Lapras slot again. I guess the question is, do you have Ice Shard? Because if you have Ice Shard, you can Ice Shard into the Tyranitar and then Rockfall into Torkoal. I don't see why you'd have Ice Shard on that team, though. But let me just double check if there's a weakness policy recipient that could potentially take advantage of it. It could be Rillaboom, but I don't see that. I should protect Torkoal here this turn, I think. And superpower into Bouffalant. Just to cover Lapras having Ice Shard. As much as I want to yawn the Lapras, okay, it stays in, which is very good here. Because it means it's definitely falling asleep. Unless you Ice Shard Max Lightning. But that doesn't look like to be the case. Okay, perfect. Alright, the Buffalo's down. Thank goodness. This episode was fun. We went up against a lot of cool stuff. Cobalion, Oranguru, Bouffalant. All fun things to face. Hydro Pump, perfect. Unless you're buried here on Lapras, which maybe is the case. But we have the Dynamax advantage now. Okay, yeah. So if you see Bouffalant, expect the Assault Vest is the best piece of advice I could give. I honestly had no idea what item it was going to have there. Cinderace is the last one, though, which doesn't bode very well for Venusaur, actually. So, but I can just yawn into that slot, right? Yeah, I think yawning is fine. And just Rock Slide. They could bounce here. Yeah, this game isn't over yet. Because Venusaur doesn't match up. I mean, the thing with Venusaur, though, is we should survive an attack against Cinderace. Oh, you know what I could have done? I could have switched Torkoal out. Oh, no, but the risk of that is my opponent actually predicts that and goes for a Pyro Ball on the switch out, and they just dunk on Venusaur on the switch in. Like, that's too risky, I think. Yeah. Okay, I think we're fine then. I mean, this is where the Yawn Torkoal stuff just comes up so huge. Now Cinderace will be faster, which is scary, right? I don't know the item on Lapras. I also don't know if Venusaur one-shots with the max move here. Because I definitely want to max and target Lapras. Because Lapras beats the Torkoal pretty hard, whereas Torkoal actually still does pretty well into my opponent's Cinderace right now. So what I want to do is body press into Cinderace, I think. Max. Actually, Protect might make sense here. Yeah. And then Max Vine Lash. Because even what I'm thinking is the worst case scenario is Lapras wakes up here and then you Hydro Pump Torkoal. But because Torkoal has the Focus Sash, what I want, or sorry, not the Focus Sash, the Citrus Berry, what I want to do is, if I don't KO with Lapras with Vine Lash here, after Sand and, or actually Sand is gone after this turn, I believe, but after Vine Lash, Lapras should faint. And then Torkoal should win the 1v1 against Cinderace, I would think. We should survive a Pyro Ball on Venusaur here as well. We know it's Life Orb on the Cinderace, so there's no way for it to, you know, not fall asleep. Yep, so there's Pyro Ball. It's expected, but that's fine. If we one-shot the Lapras here... Oh my god, that was so close. That was so close. Okay, we're good. Cinderace is so strong. Alright, now the... yeah, Sandstorm is also gone, and Cinderace falls asleep. I mean, if we get a one-shot there, we lose. I didn't think it would be that close. I was thinking like 75-80% of damage, not like 98. Oh my gosh. Alright, but now it falls asleep and we win. Whew. These games have been crazy today. Just gonna body press and Vine Lash once more. Actually, you know, we haven't seen this thing Max Strike. I want to see the Max Strike. It's just going to be a forfeit, though. Alright, we'll play one more game with it today, since it's our last time with the team, and the first 3 games have been relatively fast. Oh. Be still, my heart. Yeah, Pyro Ball is just so powerful. That's why, like, when the Cinderace came out, I was like, I don't know if we have this locked up yet, because I don't have Protect on the Venusaur either. Now, of course, I could have protected Tyranitar, the turn my opponent Sucker Punched, but I wanted to get a free switch into Venusaur, and if my opponent predicts that, and, like, High Jump kicks the Torkoal and knocks us out, then that's really bad for us. So I was like, I don't really want to risk it. Let's just get a free switch in instead. But, well, too close for comfort, as I always say. It was closer than it needed to be. Yeah, the Bouffalant honestly was really scary as well. Like, you know, we got lucky with that crit on Comfey turn 1. I don't think we one-shot without it, but I don't know if it actually really made that much of a difference. Because, like, he was doing so little to the Bouffalant anyway. Like, you know, at best it has like 5% less HP, but I think 2 superpowers were probably going to knock it out anyway. But, yeah, we were lucky mainly that the Heat Waves didn't miss. That was the main thing. Darmanitan, Porygon too. Okay. It's weird, every time I see Darmanitan, like Cinderace, I always expect like a Whimsicott, just because like those are speedy Pokemon to begin with. But you got really fast stuff in those two. It's Darm is Scarfed. T-Tar Amoonguss, Incineroar, which are all like mid-tier speed as well as Porygon. Sorry, Amoonguss is not mid-tier speed, it's obviously very slow. But As we saw, Cinderace is very scary. I gotta ask James like what the Gyarados is for, because I just like almost never bring it. I would guess it's for opposing Venusaurs, which we haven't really gone up against that much, because you can eat up a Sleep Powder, Dynamax, Airstream, and switch into Tyranitar, but you just haven't really run into matchups where it's that good. However, getting Intimidate off here against Cinderace could be valuable. It's just that the Gyarados is so useless out of Intimidate. Like, it just doesn't do damage against almost anything. Sure, it has Bounce, but it's not really that good. Like, yeah. Bounce is like a last resort move, or one that you want to use defensively. I don't like this matchup very much, really. Gonna go Venusaur. I'm gonna go the standard Venusaur Charizard. That's just the most flexible lead that I found with this team when playing with it. Might not be the right one though, because I don't like this matchup too much, because Cinderace, Tyranitar, and Darmanitan all exert a ton of offensive pressure against what we're bringing here. So, this lead is safe, but it's never the best lead in my opinion, because you're often switching on turn 1, as opposed to just having something that outright beats anything that my opponent could bring. But I don't know if that lead exists in this. Cinderace and Amoonguss. Okay. There's no way Amoonguss stays in here, right? But Cinderace can just, like, what, Pyro Ball Venusaur? So I want to max Charizard and Airstream, I think. But they might Airstream into Charizard. If it's Sash Amoonguss too, they could Sleep Powder into Charizard here. This is not a great position to be in. I'm leaning towards Sludge Bomb, Max, and just Airstream into the Cinderace. Like, if Amoonguss switches out here, Cinderace just Airstreams into Charizard. Alright, that's a good start. Then that's very good for us. I could just see Airstream going into Venusaur as well. I think that would make a ton of sense here. Either way, we've Dynamax Charizard against the Tyranitar, which never feels that great either. But I don't know what the best combination to go with. Like, how do I deal with the opposing Tyranitar? Probably my Tyranitar. Okay, it's just Gmax Cinderace, which isn't surprising. I think, based off the fact they switched in Tyranitar, I'm thinking they're definitely targeting Venusaur. Oh, but then, I don't know. You do put yourself at risk of Sleep Powder there. I wonder if my opponent's like really worried about Sleep Powder right now. Actually, I mean, if we were Focus Sash, there's no way they get around the Sleep Powder unless they were to Max Guard turn 1. Which I don't expect. Okay. What do we got? Yep, just Airstream. Should be going to Venusaur. I don't know. I could have switched Venusaur out there, maybe. Oh, does go to Charizard though. Okay. The right decision definitely was to not Dynamax Charizard turn 1. If I just Air Slash Sludge Bomb the Cinderace, then the next turn I can switch my Charizard out into Torkoal. Wait, actually, never mind. That might be a knockout. Okay, if this is a knockout, then I change everything I said. What I did was smart. Although I still think I like the Air Slash play maybe a little bit. Oh, no. If we Air Slash, we don't even get damage off. Never mind. Poison? Oh, it survives! No! It has, like, 1 tick of health left. Oh, that's sad. That is sad. Maybe this is okay, though, right? Like, can't I just go Sludge Bomb into Cinderace, switch Venusaur or Charizard out into Torkoal? Effectively, I've traded my Dynamax for their Dynamax. I don't get the residual effect, but they have an Amoonguss in the back, which obviously hard loses to most of what we brought. A Rock Slide from Tyranitar doesn't hurt us that much. It's just, if we got a knockout there, I think the game's honestly just over. Because then I can just Gmax Wildfire, Leaf Storm the next turn. The residual damage plus the extra turn of Dynamax is just too much and too overwhelming. But at least I got what I was expecting, which was my opponent not targeting the Venusaur slot there. And I think Venusaur does very excellently into my opponent's entire team. My only fear is now if they have a Fire Punch, and they Fire Punch into the Venusaur slot. Because I don't have Solar Beam on the Charizard. Either way, we just need to knock out Cinderace so it doesn't get any more moves off. Ooh, that is a great switch. That is a really good switch. However, as you see, they are pretty fire weak right now. But the reason why that's such a good switch is because now you can get Tyranitar back in. So I think that was nicely executed on my opponent's end. And this Darmanitan presumably is Choice Scarfed, which is going to be really tough because I don't have Ice Resists. Okay. Oh wait, but I have a speed boost on this thing. So you can outspeed us? I don't know. I also have Body Press, right? So I could Body Press with Torkoal right now. I think I switch Venusaur out into Charizard and just try to KO Darmanitan. Actually, if I Body Press and knock out the Tyranitar, then I win the Weather War, right? But I don't think Tyranitar is actually really the threat. I don't know if Body Press or Heat Wave is stronger against Darmanitan right now. I'm going for the Body Press, but I think Heat Wave is actually the stronger play there. The idea behind this, though, is I can cycle out and then sacrifice the Charizard, which isn't doing much for me. Okay, Tyranitar switches out. Nice, expecting me to switch out. Heat Wave would have been really nice there, though. But I'll take it. Yep, Icicle Crash. Okay, now we're in a great spot, I think. Yeah, perfect. Because now I get Tyranitar in for free, and I can just click, like, Rock Slide Heat Wave. Let's see if this KOs. If this KOs, I think it's just GG. Oof! Almost. But with Sand? Maybe? Nice. Very nice. Okay. Mungus is faster than us, though, so they can Spore us. They know we have Body Press now. Safest play, I think, is bring out Tyranitar. Yeah. And then Superpower into the opposing Tyranitar. Because I have the Focus Sash. If you Rage Powder, fine by me. And I'm going to switch Torkoal out into Venusaur. So then, because then Venusaur ignores Rage Powder. So if you Rage Powder this turn, fine by me, because then the next turn I can switch Tyranitar back out into Torkoal. So there was a lot of Weather War stuff here. And they don't protect, Rage Powder, nice. Yes, nice. No Focus Sash either. I mean, even if they were a Sash there, because we're a Sash on Tyranitar, at best you Spore. Like, then the Venusaur just hard wins at that point. And it's even a Sludge Bomb coming out, not even Spore. Okay, nice. Oof, what a set of games today. They're all really intense. Yeah. I felt like we had pretty good control of this after turn 1. If Venusaur gets targeted, it's a lot tougher, right? Because, like, Venusaur was my main way of outpacing my opponent in subsequent turns. So, let's just go out into Torkoal now. Actually, the best way to approach this is to get a free switch in, probably. Nah, it doesn't matter. Even if you keep Sludge Bombing Torkoal, you can't really beat it. Oh, wait, we could go Torkoal Weather Ball. Although I kind of expect the forfeit this turn. Yeah. Okay, yeah, ultimately, we just had... I think we had some pretty good matchups across the board today. All the teams that we... The first one was really scary, honestly, because I think Cobalion is just really tough to go up against. You know, some favorable RNG for us as well, being able to Heat Wave. Like, all the Heat Waves connecting and then getting that crit onto our Comfey made things a little bit easier. The Bouffalant team was really cool. And then this last one, I think turn 1 was really important. If my opponent does call it correctly and ends up targeting the Venusaur slot, we're kind of in an awkward spot because then Cinderace outpaces us the next turn. Well, I guess Charizard doesn't take any damage, but if you knock out Venusaur and you get Tyranitar in for free and give it a speed boost, I think we're in a much tougher spot. So I think this last game honestly kind of came down to turn 1. If whoever called it correctly, it would be in a very, very advantageous position. And ultimately, that's why I felt safe just, you know, knocking out Cinderace the subsequent turn, because I was like, well, if my opponent doesn't have Dynamax, especially because they brought a Moongus into this matchup, it's actually more dead weight for them than it actually helps them. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for our time with James's team. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Thank you to James for creating this team, and congratulations once again to him for getting to #1 on the ladder with this team. You can check him out linked in the description below on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Go check out his content because he makes really, really good VGC content, highly educational and very enjoyable as well. And that's going to be it. So thank you, as always, for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what team you are most proud of for the question of the day, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.